Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we're featuring a team with Luxray. It's a Pokemon that I haven't really gotten to play with at all, and with us wrapping up Series 5, I feel like, it's a good time to try out some more innovative teams. So, it's got a bunch of cool stuff like Luxray and Talonflame. Talonflame actually has Protect, so it's a more creative way to be able to set up Tailwind. Obviously, you're going to often go up against Fake Out users on turn 1, so you can Protect and then get a guaranteed Tailwind off next turn if you're not taking a max move into that slot. But you've also got some other cool stuff like Specs Primarina, Dragapult plus Terrakion with no beat up on Dragapult, but I think this lead is really scary and players have to respect like the beat up combos on turn 1 and then just Assault Vest Incineroar. So it was built by a Japanese player. You can learn more about them and the team linked in the description below, and we're just gonna get into it. Question of the day: I'm curious what you all will think. What you all think will be good for Series 6. Obviously, Series 6 is just a week away. I'm personally really excited for it. And in terms of what will be good, not only just what will be good, but what will be a lot better than in the previous formats, right? So I think Talonflame is actually a really interesting example because Whimsicott's going to fall off. I mean, it's not going to exist anymore because it's in the top 10, so that's going to be a really common Tailwind user. Pincurchin Raichu, I think, is really interesting because there's no more terrain control as well. So let me know everyone's thoughts in the description below. And we are up against a Dugtrio. Not an Alolan Dugtrio, too, a regular Dugtrio. That's super interesting to see. So let's get into the first game. As always, if you enjoy, please show support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. And, yeah, I really like to bring Luxray here. Ferrothorn's going to be a big problem. I'm actually really worried about that. I think the problem that I have with Talonflame is that it really doesn't do enough damage. So, you often use it, you get a Tailwind up, and then that's pretty much it. Brave Bird and Flare Blitzes don't really provide that much utility. I'm thinking like Togekiss Dracozolt as a lead here for my opponent. Maybe, or Incineroar Dracozolt maybe. I think that would make a lot of sense. Incineroar Dracozolt. Their team is pretty physical. I think I need the fire. I mean, I need to, like Terrakion probably as well. I'm gonna go Incineroar. Luxray is really interesting if we get Tailwind up. So I could go like Incineroar Luxray. I'm just worried about getting intimidated early on. Incin. Yeah, with so many Intimidates, I don't know if Luxray makes a lot of sense. Although it does counter Togekiss, which I feel like is a decently likely lead from my opponent's end. So we know Incin, Luxray, Talonflame, and then it's between Terrakion and Primarina. I feel like Primarina's spread damage here is too good to give up. So, alright, I don't know. But should be a fun one. Now, Luxray is not exactly like a phenomenal Pokemon, but it does really well into a lot of what's like pretty common in the metagame, right? So you're able to eat up the Flame Orb after protecting and then just get like 3 really powerful max moves off. So let's see what my opponent leads with here. Togekiss Dugtrio. Okay. I mean, we get the Intimidate off, but obviously Dugtrio can Max Quake here. So what do I want to do? I think turn 1, probably U-turn out, and then just Protect. Because if I U-turn out and Protect, I can go out into Talonflame and then just Tailwind. I think that's pretty valuable. Yeah, I'm going to U-turn into the Dugtrio because I think it's likely that's going to carry Focus Sash. Oh, the Dugtrio protects. Wow. Does Togekiss protecting as well? Because if so, this makes a lot of sense. If not, that's actually pretty frustrating. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, yeah. To bait out my Protect. I mean, Dugtrio is intimidated. Like, I do kind of just want to max the Luxray here. Let me just confirm that I can't switch out right now. Yeah, I can't. I mean, honestly, U-turn max Lightning here. We KO Togekiss because we're faster than it. I break Dugtrio's Sash, and then I can just bring in Talonflame and Tailwind. I mean, would Dugtrio really max here? No, it's not. Okay, so I think this is pretty favorable, actually. I really wasn't expecting to see Dugtrio in Team Preview, but that's super interesting. Okay. So we get the max Luxray off. This should one-shot Togekiss, I think, even if it maxes. So we'll dunk on that. Don't think Dugtrio should be able to knock either of our Pokemon out with the Intimidate. It's just going to be high horsepower. It's a lot of damage, but it falls short of knocking out. And that's because it crits. Ugh. That's a huge crit. Okay. Well, we'll just have to play around it. I mean, we do get the one-shot onto Luxray. We do break the potential Focus Sash, and I bring in Talonflame. We crit in return, but I don't think our crit matters. It's just frustrating because, like, not only does it do extra damage, but it also ignores the Intimidate. So I think without the crit, that high horsepower is probably doing under 50%. But at least we have U-turn here, so I'm able to switch out. That actually just does like 50% to Dugtrio. I mean, I don't even have to Tailwind. I could maybe just Brave Bird into that slot, which is pretty cool. Now, obviously, I do have to respect the late game Ferrothorn, but I don't think you bring it out right now. And I do have enough answers to Ferrothorn at the moment, so not happy about the crit, but I guess at least we survive. And the lead actually ended up being really, really good for us. Trapping in like the Togekiss and getting it just KO'd immediately is really nice. It's actually just Gyarados coming out. Okay. I mean, what's stopping me from just Brave Bird Max Lightning here? That seems fine. Oh, actually, Gyarados is probably faster than us. So then we have to make the decision on whether or not to Tailwind, and I think a pretty safe play here is probably Tailwind and Max Guard. Yeah, just because Luxray one-shots Gyarados, right? Ah, they were baiting us out into attacking that slot. That makes sense. Pharaoh? Yep. Cool. Well, we don't get baited there, which is good. I would think it's just going to be high horsepower into that slot. Although, honestly, Brave Bird Max Lightning would have worked out fine, too. Like, my opponent would be eating up a Max Lightning in terrain. Yeah, and it's just high horsepower into us. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Part of me actually wants to conserve Luxray, just so I have a Wild Charge into Gyarados in the late game. So, like, I could also just Flare Blitz here. I don't know if that's enough for a KO, though. But something like Flare Blitz Knuckle here also works. I wonder if I want a Hailstorm instead, but Hailstorm would cover the switch out. I mean, Knuckle would KO. Hailstorm might KO through Protect anyway. But a boosted Talonflame does sound kind of nice right now, so I'm actually going to Knuckle Flare Blitz. Okay, they don't switch out. Pharaoh's going to Protect, but that's actually great, right? Because I think Knuckle should just KO the Dugtrio, and then now this next turn I can just Flare Blitz into Ferrothorn and just go for my Electric type attack into Gyarados. So this is actually perfect. Yeah, it's really good. Okay. Yeah, that was fantastic. Nice. We don't even break our Gale Wings as well. Not that I think that really matters right now. But Luxray has actually been perfect for this game. And if it didn't get crit, I wouldn't even be in like threat of getting knocked out this previous turn. I was worried about it going down, but now the reality is that it's a 4v2. Plus, I mean, my opponent hasn't maxed, which is the main fear, right? But with the attack increase, like, it's very rare you run Akka on the Ferrothorn. Like, I'm pretty sure I can just safely Flare Blitz here and just Wild Charge into Gyarados. I think it should just be a 1-8 KO onto both Pokemon. Kind of pinned our opponent here. Because we still have Tailwind up as well. So I don't think they can do anything. Okay, they're going to go for a double. They don't get it. Yeah, they'll seal it up. No Max is interesting. Yeah, Flare Blitz just one-shots. Luxray is going to pick up 3 knockouts in this game, which is awesome. So, couldn't have asked for a better debut game with this Pokemon. I think we should be faster here, right? Yeah, nice. So, Wild Charge comes out, boosted by Terrain, boosted by Guts. My opponent ends up not maxing in this game, but to be honest, they were never in a good position to, because you're not going to max... If you're going to max Togekiss, you're going to do it turn 1. So, given that that didn't Dynamax once it was up against Luxray, that couldn't Dynamax in turn 2. Dugtrio doesn't seem like a great Dynamax candidate. Pharaoh is definitely not a great max candidate unless you're specifically running like either AV Pharaoh or like 2 attack Pharaoh, because otherwise like most sets nowadays are Iron Defense Body Press. By the way, I think Pharaoh and Amoonguss are also, they're already really good in Series 5, but I think they're going to be even better in Series 6, so that also to add on to the question of the day. But yeah, that was just Luxray dominance more than anything. Ferrothorn was the one thing I was worried about, but we had the 2 fire types, which were pretty good. And I do think, once again, yeah, Togekiss leads come out pretty frequently against this team, as my opponent has an Unfezant. Oh my goodness. I kind of want them to win because I love Unfezant. They also have their own Talonflame, which is super interesting. As well as Krookodile. Without Krookodile, like, Luxray looks really good here, but the Krookodile alone makes me a little bit more hesitant. I don't know. I mean, like, Talonflame Primarina seems pretty good here. They don't even have Fake Out, so we can match Tailwinds. Although, I guess if we match Tailwinds, is that really in our favor? I'm not sure. I will say, okay, opposing Dragapults are pretty tough to play against if I don't bring my own Dragapult. But I don't want to lead it, which is my main fear. Now, we do have Airstream, which is pretty nice. I really want to bring Luxray. It could be a max candidate as well. Instant for Intimidate is somewhat valuable here, given that... But, like, it's probably going to be crit on Pheasant. We can't intimidate the Dragapult. It's still valuable against Krookodile and Talonflame, but we're not doing much damage. Terrakion here actually is able to get, you know, a big close combat off against something. It's just that I think, like, they're going to match our Tailwinds here, right? So, like, speed control is going to be important, and we're going to be most likely slower with Luxray if Tailwinds are matched here. So I'm leaning towards just Terrakion and Dragapult. Yeah, I'm going to have that in the back. The one argument for Luxray would be as a lead here if I think my opponent's going, like, Togekiss Talonflame. Which, now that I think about it, is actually not, like... no, never mind. That'd be super risky if you're going up against Dragapult. Well, would it? Because you could just Tailwind Starfall turn 1, I guess. Yeah, maybe I should have led Luxray. It's gonna be Talonflame and Silvally. Okay, my opponent's team is just really cool. I don't even know what to expect, honestly. I mean, I think we trade Tailwinds here turn 1, right? Like, I'm just content clicking Tailwind and Hyper Voice. But the problem is that we probably both have Dragapult in the back, and then it might just come down to Dragapult speed ties. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to trade Tailwinds, which was kind of expected. So, like, let's see what Silvally goes for now. It could be, like, Explosion. Oh, my goodness, it actually is. Okay. That is my first time seeing 4 Pokemon faint on turn 1. I could have protected to stagger Tailwind. I mean, does this literally just come down to a speed tie with Dragapults? Because that's what it looks like right now, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god. I thought he might be like Sash Talonflame, but I don't think you'd actually want Talonflame out. Like, the idea behind Talonflame Silvally is, yeah, you pick up Tailwind, you pick up 2 knockouts, and get a free switch into your sweeper. So, this is better, I would say, for my opponent than me. It's gonna be Krookodile, okay? Well, that's not that bad. I mean, this is why I didn't want to bring Luxray. But that must have been the fastest turn 1 I think I've ever seen in my life. Oh, they're gonna crit the Crook with Unfezant, maybe? That's what it looks like to me. I mean, they don't have Dragapult in the back, right? So, like, I just want to Airstream and close combat into the Krookodile. Yeah. Because Unfezant's not going to one-shot either Pokemon here. This team was crazy, dude. Unfezant, Krookodile, Explosion, Silvally next to Talonflame turn 1. Yeah. Once again, I think I mentioned this in yesterday's episode. I'm not home at the moment, so I'm recording away from home, and I got a new laptop, and sometimes the fan runs a little bit loud, so I apologize if you can hear that. Okay, this is super interesting, though, because, yeah, I mean, this is why I didn't want to bring Luxray, because if I bring it, it's just going to be slower, and, like, there's no way my opponent doesn't set up Tailwind, right? If your opponent has Tailwind and you have Tailwind, you have to bring it just to match it. But I think this is actually not bad for us, especially because, like, Unfezant, even if you crit, that's fine. It could be Scarf Krookodile here, that's my one fear. But even if you're Scarfed, what can you do? I think we've kind of pinned our opponent, to be honest. But like I said, if we lose against an Unfezant, I would still count that as a win, because I love Unfezant. For those that don't know, I've been playing in the WBE VGC version, which is a VGC draft league. I drafted Unfezant. It was just like a low-tier pick. And Wolfie was like, why did Cybertron draft Unfezant? This Pokemon's awful. But we're going up against Max Unfezant, so you know what? It's pretty entertaining. Okay, let's see. Does Krookodile protect? It doesn't. So we should pick up a knockout onto that. We're faster than Unfezant now this next turn. And then I can just Wormwind. I went for the Airstream here just because I think, like, Unfezant is going to go for an Airstream of its own, so at least now I can, you know, get a guaranteed knockout. You know, there's no way to protect the Krookodile there. If you're Choice Scarfed, well, you get an attack off, but I'll get the knockout onto it. If you go for a Protect there, I get the speed boost, and then I break a potential Focus Sash as well. Okay, Unfezant just goes for its own max Airstream, but that's fine. Yeah, you're going to target the Terrakion. But now I can just go for... Is this crit? Yeah, we just Wormwind here and Rock Slide, I think. Yeah. I mean, if they connect, I think it's just... If Rock Slide connects, it should just be game over. I'm actually wondering if it's better to close combat. Unfezant's not... Yeah, it's pretty bulky. I'm gonna Wormwind close combat. Or sorry, Rock Slide. Even if we miss, it's not the end... it's not the worst case. Because, like, this Wormwind should do, like, 50-60%, I would think. Actually, a little bit less. Around 50, or 45 more so, I should say. So I actually think Unfezant survives this then. But yeah, that's why I don't, you know, I don't think close combat would have done it. Rock Slide does connect though, single target. It does not pick up the knockout. So Unfezant lives to see another day. It is going to go for a max Airstream here. It is going to target Terrakion. So now we're playing the 1v1. I should have Airstreamed there instead to outspeed. I thought the Wormwind and Rock Slide would be enough to pick up the knockout. And I might have slept on Unfezant. I mean, here Unfezant's definitely going to max guard. And then you just try to crit the Brave Bird, basically. Impressive bulk. I should have Airstreamed there to play it safer. Yeah. I think Airstream close combat would have been better. Because then we just guarantee that we outpace the Unfezant. Unless for some reason Unfezant at +1 speed doesn't outspeed Dragapult. But there's the max guard. So, yeah, I mean, it's crit Unfezant, right? So now they're just going to try to crit us with Brave Bird. And we'll see if that's enough for a KO. Oh, I should have Airstreamed. I thought Wormwind Rock Slide would definitely be a knockout, so I kind of slept on that damage output. But also, if Unfezant's bulky, it might not even outspeed Dragapult. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, obviously we just go for Dragon Darts here. This was closer than it needed to be. Okay, we're faster anyway, yeah. I was honestly kind of rooting for poor Unfezant there. That was pretty cool, though. I mean, yeah. If Unfezant outspeeds us there and it crits Brave Bird, we lose. So it was looking kind of scary. And for that reason, I should have Airstreamed just because Dragon Darts is going to do enough to Unfezant in the late game. Like 2 single-target Life Orb Dragon Darts against the non-max Unfezant will definitely pick up the knockout. So I think the better play in that earlier position would have been always to Airstream close combat into Unfezant just to get that guaranteed damage off. And then even if Unfezant crits a max Airstream into Dragapult, that's not KOing us. 2 Airstreams plus a close combat's probably enough to KO Unfezant, even if not, we've got Dragon Darts in the late game. So, I actually... that was, like, even though we won, there was a slight mistake there by not going for the Airstreams. But, yeah, cool to go up against an Unfezant. I mean, that lead was so strong, too. Just, like, click Tailwind Explosion and get 2 free switch-ins. I just thought, like, Dragapult would be waiting in the back. That would have been a lot scarier, honestly. Alright. Last match of the day. Let's see. Duraludon's really scary here. It counters most of what we have. I think Talonflame needs to come out. We need speed control for it. I mean, honestly, Luxray is pretty interesting here. I'm gonna bring it. Because I can Knuckle into the into the Duraludon. So like with Talonflame and Talonflame and Luxray turn, I can double protect and then Tailwind max turn 2. I think Terrakion's a must bring just for damage into Duraludon. Heavy Incineroar looks good here, but it just doesn't do damage. And I feel more compelled to bring damage up here. So then it's between Dragapult and Primarina. I think it might have to be Primarina just because, like, I think I want to max Luxray. So by bringing Primarina, I have a strong non-max option. And Specs Moonblast will do a ton into Duraludon. I mean, it's probably going to be Assault Vest, but if it's not, you can just do, like, I mean, it's not going to pick up a knockout, but it's going to do, like, a ton of damage. So, yeah. Alright, let's see how this goes. Scary team from my opponent's end. It's going to be Grimmsnarl and Togekiss, though, which is so good for Luxray. I mean, that's, like, as good as it gets for Luxray, actually. Wonder if Max Lightning KOs without Guts. Probably not. Do you max Togekiss here? I think that's decently likely. I wonder if they just fake out Airstream here, because I want to switch out the Talonflame into Primarina, honestly. But then we take a lot of damage that way. It's just that I want to get Tailwind up in this game. I'd really like Tailwind up, because Luxray under Tailwind looks really good. But that means I have to be sacrificing one of these Pokemon effectively, which I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of. Okay, I'm going to Protect, Max, and Lightning into Togekiss. Might have been better to have gone for Knuckle into Grimmsnarl if I think Togekiss is going to max. Doesn't look like it's maxing here, though. Or it's slower, which could also be the case. Ideally, my opponent goes, like, Fake Out into Talonflame, doesn't max Togekiss. And I don't know, like, Airstreams that slot. Or protects Togekiss, because then, as long as I get Tailwind up in this game, I feel really good. Okay, they're not maxing Togekiss. The only thing I was worried about was Fake Out Airstream into Talonflame, because that still breaks the Gale Wings. Yeah, Reflect just goes up. So I think Togekiss probably survives the Max Lightning then, but it's still fine. We go first, which is nice. Yeah, it's able to survive. Okay. So Knuckle into Grimmsnarl would have been better, because then I can just Max Lightning into Togekiss the subsequent turn. But at least now I can Tailwind, which is nice. It's just Gleam. Okay. Yeah, my opponent's basically trying to stall out the Dynamax, which I think is smart. It is Crit Kiss, which is interesting. I wonder if Lightning with Guts Electric Terrain KOs the Grimmsnarl here. Because, like, I want to Tailwind here, and actually go for the knockout onto the Grimmsnarl. Is there any reason to KO it, though? I mean, it's kind of dead weight for my opponent, to be honest, right now. Yeah, honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think there's any reason to try to KO that. Like, Grimmsnarl has this problem where after turn 1... Okay, Togekiss does a Protect, though. That would have been a reason to target it. I wonder if we KO with Max Lightning through Protect, though, because, like, now we have the Guts and the Electric Terrain. Actually, that's for Thunder Wave, but Talonflame dodges it. Okay, well, that was lucky. Not sure that really makes much of a difference, though. Okay, Togekiss survives, but now I can pick up a double KO here, right? Yeah, I don't want what's in the back to eat up a Thunder Wave, so I think just Brave Bird here into Togekiss. And... oh, you know what? I could also consider protecting the Talonflame here so I don't eat up the Thunder Wave. But I don't mind just going for damage here. Yeah, double KO seems pretty valuable. Well done on their end to stall out my Max, though, honestly. Like, Luxray didn't really pick up the knockouts it wanted to. Okay, Ouster follow me. That makes sense, but Brave Bird will pick up the knockout there. The only thing is that I'll probably not be able to get another Tailwind off in this game. And so my opponent did a nice job of using this really passively to stall out my Dynamax and my Tailwind turns. Yeah, Thunder Wave comes out this time around. It actually might be in our favor if the Grimmsnarl survives here, because I just don't know what it does after this turn. Let's see if this KOs. That is so strong. Yeah, I can't help but think I should have targeted and expected the Togekiss Protect, because if I get that correct, then the next turn I get a free Brave Bird into Togekiss, that gets KO'd, and then a really strong Max Lightning into whatever comes in. So the reason to have gone for Max Lightning into Grimmsnarl was specifically for Protect there. But it's going to be Torkoal coming out, which makes me think Venusaur is the last one. Looks like it, yeah. Okay. This is still pretty scary. I believe there's one turn of Tailwind left. So Luxray is fast, but my opponent hasn't maxed, which is the problem, right? 2 turns of Tailwind left, actually, which is good. Yeah. I think Venusaur might sweep us here in this late game, honestly. I should have switched Talonflame out to conserve it for Venusaur specifically, I think. Flare Blitz. And just, I guess, Wild Charge into... well, Venus is the bigger threat. Actually, yeah, I guess I need any damage I can against that. I think we actually lose in the 2v4 here. I should have Max Lightning into Grimmsnarl. Venu was always going to be one of the bigger threats to us. We need a Dragapult in the back as well. I don't know. But if Talonflame survives like an attack here, you don't max guard, and we just get a Flare Blitz off, that would be huge. Especially if you like ooze into Talonflame. They go for Vine Lash, okay. Which we get KO'd by, but... I mean, I get a Sun Boosted Flare Blitz off here, right? If I don't get fully paralyzed. Oh. Okay, well, that'll seal it up. I think if we get that off, we honestly win. Especially because it's Life Orb Venu. So, that's unfortunate, but live and die by those rolls. Just thinking if there's any way out of it now. Tailwind is still up, so I can bring in Terrakion, but now you should just ooze. And with Vine Lash being up, that's super bad for us. I guess what I can do is bring in Primarina here and bait the Vine Lash into the Primarina slot, but... that's so unfortunate. I'm surprised they gambled it there, too. I feel like but I guess my point was, like, I'm not going to knock out the Talonflame without a ooze. Like, I was thinking there you protect Venusaur, you burn a turn of Tailwind, and then you go for, I don't know, a Burning Jealousy just to chip away at the Talonflame, so then you can ooze the next turn. So, you hate to see it, but that's Pokemon for you. Just thinking what I can... I do have Protect here. I'm wondering if I can pull something off here, because, like, you have to respect the Talonflame now, right, and ooze that slot. So, like, what I want to do is Protect and Hydro Cannon into the Torkoal. It's still potentially winnable. The other play would have been to just Flare Blitz, trying to bait the attack into Primarina. Okay, they go for the ooze, though. That's what we want to see. I still don't see how we win this, though. Like, it'll probably be a 3v1. I think Hydro Cannon knocks out here, but still difficult to actually do anything after that. Okay, Hydro Cannon does connect, though. Let's see if this is a one-hit KO. Just Choice Specs Primarina, Hydro Cannon, but it is in Sun. Nice, that does pick up the one-hit KO. Okay. I don't think I can switch in Terrakion. Yeah, I think we still lose, unfortunately, because, like, I don't have enough damage. Like, the Venusaur can just pick up a knockout onto every slot every turn now. So maybe I needed to bring in Terrakion, go for a Flinch there. I don't know. This is why I think if we survive the Flare Blitz, we win, because then we would just need a little bit more damage onto it. Granted, Reflect was up, so, like, it wasn't going to KO, right? But, let's see. The problem is that there's still 2 turns of Vine Lash, right? Yeah. I mean, at least Venu will be down to its neutral form after this, and I bring in Terrakion. You should ooze into Talonflame. Reflect is still up, too. Yeah, my opponent played really well with Grimmsnarl. That was nicely done. If anything, I regret maybe maxing Luxray on turn 1, although it did set up the terrain for us, but for the lead looked really good for us, right? But my opponent did a great job playing passively and play towards this Venusaur Torkoal endgame. I think we had good enough tools to win in this matchup as well. Let's see. Okay, Venusaur's max is over, though. I'm trying to think what our win cons here. There's 1 turn of Vine Lash, 2 turns of Sunlight. So the question is whether I play for a double Protect here. Because my opponent's always going to target the Terrakion slot here. If I get the double Protect off, I get a single target Rock Slide. It's just, I don't think Rock Slide plus Hydro Cannon KOs the Venusaur in Sun with Reflect being up. It's definitely not going to do enough. And I actually think if we get the double Protect, we win. They could also make a cool read here and just target my Primarina, though, but I think you need to target the... Actually, it is pretty safe to target Primarina, isn't it? No, because if I Rock Slide there... Oh, and they actually called it! Wow. That's a really impressive prediction. But I guess it makes sense, because you know I'm Spexed. So, like, even if I Rock Slide there... The question would have been then, does single target Rock Slide with Reflect up and then without Reflect up do enough to knock out? We can still win if we get the double here, because then I can flinch the Venusaur, but that's an impressive prediction. I wasn't expecting my opponent to make that play. Yeah, well done. They played really well, honestly, so no fault in losing, but yeah. If we didn't get fully paralyzed, we would have done enough damage where I didn't need to try to go for like a fancier play here in the end. They had Leaf Storm in the end, yeah. So I actually think if we just Rock Slided there, we would have won. They read into me going for the double Protect Wing Con, which was admittedly pretty impressive. Because I do think a single target rocks, like 2 Rock Slides knockout. The first one being under Reflect and the second one not being under Reflect. But, you know, hats off to them. I think they played this matchup really well where they stalled out my Max, stalled out the Luxray, got the Venusaur and Torkoal in a really safe position and got these attacks off. A little sad because Talonflame Flare Blitz once again into Venusaur would have done a lot, but in that end game, yeah, I think... I don't know. So, I mean, if in that position I do just go for Rock Slide and Hydro Cannon, I guess I'm guaranteed both attacks getting off, and maybe that's actually enough to just knock out Venusaur, even with Reflect and Sun being up since we are specs on the Primarina. So, maybe I should have just gone for guaranteed damage. What I was thinking there is I really do feel like you have to respect the Terrakion, and you're able to knock it out because you have the Vine Blast damage going off as well, so you guarantee the Leaf Storm into that slot and then win against Primarina, which you know is going to click the Hydro Cannon. So, yeah, I don't really regret the end game play that I made there, but my opponent was just one step ahead of me and made a really, really aggressive prediction, which worked out nicely for them. Because I do think that's pretty risky, right? Because it's like, if you call that incorrectly, then you also have to play against the flinch chances afterwards. So I thought it would have just been safer to target the Terrakion, but props to them for being one step above and making that read. That was a really fun episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will catch you next time. Alright, peace.